Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of the Overview to Web Application series. Today we will look into how to add authentication to web applications. There are various methods available for authenticating users in web application. Let's discuss a few of these methods. First one is creating our own authentication. At a glance, this might seem like the obvious choice. However, it comes with its challenges. You need to set up everything manually, including the login interface, databases, password hashing, and other things. Hence, this is a bit complex and time consuming, which can divert your attention from the main project tasks. The next one is we can use an SSO options like Google login or Facebook login. Unlike the previous method, you do not have to build everything from scratch. Here, what happens is you trust that these services like Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, or GitHub have effectively handled the login process, and we trust those services and lock the user to our system. So that's what happened underneath. While this approach might suffice for your project, it has limitations. For instance, you can't easily manage user roles. Imagine your application has two user roles, an admin and employee. If you choose this approach, you'll need to implement the role handling yourself. The next one is using a SaaS product to implement authentication. We call this SaaS product IDaaS or IDaaS, some of them call them. So which basically means identity as a service. There are various such IDaaS or IDaaS products in the market today. We have Asgardeo, we have Auth0, we have Cloud Identity, and we have many other. So what they do is they handle all the heavy lifting of the login process, and then you have enough time to focus your attention to the main project tasks. So that's the main advantage of using SaaS products. In today's world, these SaaS products are highly popular, and gaining expertise in them can be an advantage in your career, especially when entering into the industry. So with that in mind, I will be doing a small demonstration on how to integrate Asgardeo to your React application. To get started, the first step is to create an account on Asgardeo. You can do this by visiting console.asgardeo.io and registering your project. You can simply use Google account to sign up. So let's sign up. We can go to register. And you can use your Google account to sign up. So I will use this account. And after that, you will ask to enter your organization name. For this, you can enter your project's name. For this, I will use Asgardeo demo. Check the region as US and press create. This will take a few seconds to create your Asgardeo workspace. Now you can see that your Asgardeo workspace is ready, and you will be redirected to the console. So this is what we call the Asgardeo console. So you can see here, this is the main side panel, and you can see few options, but I will not go into details on what those exact things are, because most of them is not really important for you at this stage. So hence I will just go through on the things that you should know on how to connect the React application to Asgardeo. So The first step is to create the user. For that, you can go to this user management and go to this users and click on the new user. So this will be the user that will log into your application. For this, I will just use john@test.com. I will set a password for that as well. Now we have created our user. Also, instead doing this, you can also let the user self sign up as well. To do that, I will not go through how to do it from this demo. To do that, I will share a documentation on how you can do it in your React application. So now we have created the user. The next step is to register your application in Asgardeo. To do that, we can go into this application section and create this, select this new application and select the single page application. And now we have to give a name. For this, you can use your project's name. For this, I will just use React Asgardeo demo. And so what is this authorized redirect URLs? So these are the URLs where Asgardeo should redirect users after completing the sign up process and when they sign out. For this demonstration, we will use this will be the hosted URL of our React application, and we will just use it now. Use this. So in your project, typically you will have two redirect URLs, one for redirecting after user sign in and one for redirecting after user sign out. And for the sign out one, this will be something like this, but for sign in it can be the home page or it can be the quick start one, so it will differ on your project. So after that, we can click register, and now we have created our React application. Now let's go into the coding part. To enable your React application to use OpenID Connect authentication with Asgardeo as the consumer identity access management provider, you should use an npm package. That npm package, you can find it just by simply typing React Asgardeo on Google, and it will show up in this first few search items, and this is this one. And that package name is Asgardeo/auth-react. To install this Asgardeo/auth-react package, you can use this command, and I will just copy it. So I have already created a simple React project, and you can install this package into your project by using this command.
So since we have done install the relevant npm package, let's go into integrating Asgardeo to our React website. Asgardeo React SDK exposes the auth provider component, which helps you to easily integrate Asgardeo to your application. So first, go into the root component. So the root component is in my main.tsx file. So this is the root component. First, you should import the auth provider component. So you can do that by, so we can import the auth provider component from import auth provider from auth-react, and then we will wrap it around the root component. So as you can see, this shows an error. So let's see what the error is. Property config is missing in the type. So what this means is auth provider takes a config object as a prop that can be used to initialize the SDK instance. So we can create this config as URL. For this, we should pass our redirect sign-in redirect URL. So as I mentioned earlier, it is 5173. So it should be like this. And sign out. Direct URL. It's the same thing. Just copy it and paste it. Then we will need the client ID. I will add the client ID later. And then we will require the base URL. We'll add it later as well. And then we will need the scope. As you can remember, we created this application React Asgardeo demo to connect Asgardeo with our React application. And in this quick start section and this configuration section, you can find out the necessary details that's required in this config object. You can see the client ID. So we will just copy it and we'll just paste it here. And similarly, you can use this base URL. So I will just copy these things. I have created this config object. So let's pass it as a prop to this auth provider component. It should be, so what this error means is like it should be capital D. So you can see the error is gone now. So you may be wondering, what are scopes? The scopes used to request user attributes from Asgardeo. If you need to add more scopes other than this OpenID and profile, you can append them to the array. I will not go into the details on what scopes are, but I will share a document with you to learn more about it if you are interested. Next, we will implement a simple login interface to demonstrate the behavior. So to do that, we will go into this app.tsx file and we will just remove the boilerplate code. So just remove this boilerplate code here. Okay, I just save it. So in this Asgardeo React SDK, it provides a use or context hook that could be used to access the session state that contains information such as email address of the authenticated user and the methods that are required to implement authentication. So since auth provider grabs the root component of the application, use auth context hook can be imported and used any React component in the application. So let's import this use auth context hook from Asgardeo Auth React SDK. Import use auth context, and then inside your component you can access the context as follows. State, sign in and sign out, this equal to use auth context. Why is this error showing? Okay, this means these are unused, so I will use them. So the next, we can use this sign in methods So next we can use this sign in to implement the login button. So let's write this logic here. You can use the state variable, and it has a value called is authenticated to check if the user is authenticated. So, and if the user is authenticated, we will show the username and the logout button. Div, and we just show the username here. So this state variable has the username. And other than that, we will also show this logout button. On click, we will call the sign out button. Sign out button. And after that, if the user is not authenticated, we will show the login button. On click, show the sign in. So let's run this application to see the results. As you can see this, we have started our local host. So we can and see the results. So yeah, I made some silly mistake here. So we need text on the button. So look at that. So let's say log out and say log in. Button. And we will remove this here. So it will hot reload the setup. So you can see the login button. Now, what happened here? You can see that your application callback URL does not match with the registered redirect URL. So this is a common error interface that you will see when you're using Asgardeo. This is mainly happening because the registered redirect URL is wrong. So let's see if we have done any mistakes here. To do that, we can go to this protocol section, and you will see this authorized redirect URL. So let's see what I have entered earlier. So it mentioned that https/localhost. So, but our application's URL is HTTP. So that's the mistake here. So let's fix that. Let's add it here, and we should add this to allowed origins as well. And we will click update, and we have updated the application. So let's try signing in again. Close it. As you can see, we have successfully gone to this login interface. So the user we created was john@chess.com. So let's enter that email here. .com. So we need to finish this image verifications. So the username is not visible, but the logout button is visible, which means we have authenticated user. So let's see what I have, what's the mistake I did that the username is not visible. So it should be in the, so let's see what I have done. No, so let's check in the main.tsx file. So this should be not scopes, it should be scope. So we need to log in again. So let's press log out. We have successfully logged out. So let's log in again with the user. So I need to articles. So now this will ask a consent that user should give to our application to read their profile. So we will give that application, our React application, to read the user's profile, which means the username. Click allow, and you can see the name, john@test.com. So that's it for the demo. I hope you learned something from it. So this is a basic usage of Asgardeo, but Asgardeo can be used for many other purposes, but I will not go into details. And as promised, I will share this documentation I promised, and you can refer those documentation and learn many other things that Asgardeo can do, and hope that you will use these products in your project, so it will help to develop in your career. Thank you, everyone.